7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming soon. Snake River Manufacturing is developing a revolutionary new way to design and build a custom kayak trailer. This modular design lets you customize your trailer one piece at a time, allowing you to grow as you go.
You know, a lot of folks think gorillas can't read. But when the magazine's this good, even I had to subscribe.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for episode 53 of the Kayak Cafe podcast. This episode is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. So if you get an opportunity, please go to snakerivermanufacturing.us and look at all of the cool trailers that Steve and the crew are putting together. They're some of the best trailers you could ever ask for to get you to and from the water in style. So go check them out at snakerivermanufacturing.us. This episode is also brought to you by Viking Kayaks USA. Go to vikingkayaksusa.com and check out all of their paddlecraft. They've got a great variety of paddlecraft to choose from. And if you're on the East Coast, you might see Jen, the owner, who is also a veteran, making an East Coast tour right now. So if you see her, tell her I said hi. So, all right. On this episode, we've got a gentleman who has been a great source of inspiration for myself. We chat a lot about business, life, and he keeps me basically sane from time to time, whether he knows it or not. This gentleman is Mr. Brian Carter from the basscast.com. So I'll bring him in. Hello, Brian. How are you?
The words are too kind, people. The words are too kind.
But they're 100% honest.
Guys, and this thing, we all know it's a niche, and it's not there's a lot of people on the outside of this, but not a lot of people on the inside of this. And so we all have to really stick together, or you will just lose it eventually, or just give up. Either way, I mean.
Right. I will say there's been some times where I've had a rough day or two, and I've been like, out of nowhere, this message will pop up and it says, "Hey, man, how's it going?" I'm like, dude, Brian knew. He felt it. He felt it.
Yeah. I get lucky with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't do that as much as I really would like to do it because of the schedule, but we are getting into tournament time.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, it's expo season, everybody.
Oh, yes. All right. So for those that don't know who you are, they live under a fishing rock and they don't know who you are. Can you give a brief overview of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I run the basscast.com. I grew up in the world of media and magazines, and I was a paste up artist, and I edited my school yearbook in high school. So I started a newspaper back in the day called In View, and it folded when newspapers were still kind of a thing, Roy, before we all went to the internet. And I've kind of always liked that medium, and I grew up around fishing, and here we are. I mean, it was me and a guy from work. It's crazy. He's like, there's no website out there that tells you where you can go, what tournaments are happening, what events are going on, lake reports, fishing reports, tournament results. And so we decided to create a website. It was actually called Central Virginia Basscast when I first started. And we decided to create a website where you can go to one source and get all the information that you need. And we've been that outlet for years. We cover Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So if you're in that area and you like to send us a schedule or send us a lake report for a lake in your area, we'd love to have it because we're here to promote you. Make money and promote you. There you go. I mean, it don't cost you anything. So, but we're here to put the two together and promote what you do and your tournament schedules and tournament events, and it just kept growing from there. So,
So how long did it? I know how sometimes with myself I have all these ideas. How long did it take you to go from idea to full run with the website.
Oh gosh, guys. If you really want to know, the website's probably really been rebuilt 3 or 4 times, crashed twice. Um,
I tell you what,
wow, just want to know the ins and
firsthand, a website crash will let you know how bought in you are on a project.
yes.
Mhm.
This is a crazy story. So I was at Bugs Island for a tournament. I was down there and I sat there and went back to the motel like I always do, and I was putting everything up on the internet. Everything
Mhm.
was great. And it might have been a 2 or 3 day tournament. And I woke up the next morning and half the website was gone. It
Oof.
had just disappeared. No backup, they said, whatsoever. By the way, don't use GoDaddy. Sorry, no sorry. Uh, and GoDaddy said we can't find it, even though I had automatic backup cut on. Lost half the website. I ended up trying to rebuild as much as I could that weekend, and the rest of it was gone. So you know you with every business, I guess you could say you start off little. You want to start off little. I will tell you this: in the world of this internet, and Roy tell you the same thing. You kind of need to have a little cushion and
Mhm.
start off big, but make sure you put the right pieces in place. So
Right. I
I
had
learned
an
the hard way.
Yeah, I had another site go down. So when I started doing things for myself and other people, I know about backups, and I know that their backups aren't always good backups. So I have my own backups because
Yes,
when it goes down and you relying on them, their real only answer is "oops." Like, what
it
do you mean,
is.
"oops"?
The Basscast now is on 2 servers, maybe 3 servers. That's how big we are. So I mean, we had a million visitors last year. Thank you, everybody.
Woohoo! So
Yes.
did you ever imagine it would grow to this big?
Heck no. Holy cow. I'm not gonna lie. From going to tournaments and printing flyers back during the
Mhm.
day. So this was at about 09, 08, 09-ish or so. And I would get there 30 minutes early, put flyers on every truck in the parking lot, walk the whole thing. Um, and we did that for about 3 years. And it didn't matter if there's a tournament going on there or not. I would like stop at ramps on the way down to a tournament and put flyers on parking lot, cars and trucks and all this stuff in a parking lot. Then I mean, it costs what, a penny a flyer. I mean, that's all it was,
Mhm.
maybe 2 cents at the most. And a little bit of time, and I was willing to put in the work, and here we are today. So no, I never really did. I mean, I got to be on the news last year. I was on Fox 2127, our local news. That was pretty cool. That went out, I think, West Virginia and Kentucky. Um, I don't know. He said it went out to about 5 different states. They picked it all
Mm.
up, and I got promoted that way as well. So, hitting the numbers that we always wanted, our goals, and you know, getting to 5 or 6 Red Crest Cups, probably about 8, 9 Bassmaster Classics now.
Wow. Yeah.
So I never, no, no. Not
So
some
what's it
guy that was a little editor of a little Christian private school yearbook back
Mhm.
in 1991, 92. I never would have thought that what I learned and what I've learned throughout the years would implement where we are today. And yeah, it's crazy.
So what did fishing media look like when you first started? I mean, were there a lot of websites around when you like, I know
Actually,
th
there was. We had Bass Fan, Wired to Fish. There's another website down in South Carolina. So there was about 5 or 6, and we've all seen them. It's kind of crazy. Me and Danielle were talking about the other day, and another Bass Fan we saw got bought out.
Mhm.
So we've seen them, slowly since COVID. See a lot of stuff being bought out, and that's probably the first uh, big bass fishing website that we saw got bought out, because Bass Fan was great. I mean, it's a West Coast website,
Mhm.
but now there's not a lot of tournaments on the West Coast except for dang, I want to think about it here in a second, guys. What's the name of the magazine? It's a magazine out there that actually bought the Wild Wild West series was probably the biggest thing that I saw come out of the West. And then when
Mhm.
it folded, Bass Angler magazine picked that up,
Yeah.
and
Damn.
they continued the Wild Wild West tour. and they're doing a great job with it out there. It's getting huge. You guys all know, if you're not living on a rock, Roy's got the kayak series, kayak magazine going, and they got the kayak tournament trail, the bass boat tournament trail, and then their pro Kenna series bass boat series as well. So they're doing a great job with that. And because I think FLW was probably maybe a little bit of the Bass Opens. You guys probably correct me. We're still a few of the tournament series that were actually going west, and then they all started just backing on up when Major League Fishing bought FLW, and really don't go far west anymore like they used to in the past. Plus, they had droughts back in the day, and
Right.
we know they had droughts, and when there's no water in the lakes, it's kind of hard to host a tournament. I'm not saying all the lakes, but a lot of the big major lakes that we used to talk about back in the day. So
what was your big breakthrough moment? Was it like an aha moment? Because I know that
Oh.
it goes from that hobby to, oh wait, this could be something moment.
when I got my first sponsor, nah, I'll be honest. I would say going to a Bassmaster Classic, and getting the notoriety there and from your peers, and making that commitment. I got a sheet of paper. It's at work. It's been sitting by my desk for the last couple of years. It says commitment. You'll decide your future by determining your level of commitment. Only you will determine how hard you'll work, how many hours you're willing to stay up, how many hours you're willing to drive. And I read that pretty much every single day. And here we are today. But it really was going to my first Bassmaster Classic was going to something like that. And, making, like I said, you can play in the field for a while, but when you make a $1,000, $2,000 commitment to go to an event, I'm not saying a classic costs that much to go to, but running your first expo, hosting your first booth. I mean, we did a couple booths, and we learned not to do any more again. But I mean, it was a live learn, and when we learned that. So I mean, it's one of those things where we tried a lot, learned a lot, but I think like I said, going to my first classic was probably one of the coolest things. That I just jumped in a car and we traveled 8 hours and spent 4 days, and I want to say that was in Alabama. So I've pretty much been to every classic now except for Texas, and there was another one that we didn't go to.
Now, when you go to these things, was there like I don't want to call it a fanboy moment, but like when somebody recognizes you that you think shouldn't recognize you, did you get like, wow?
I don't, it's funny you say that. I don't know. I mean, if you guys have ever been to Classic's really overwhelming, and there's a lot of media people at the Classic. I mean, because this thing brings in media from all over the globe. It's that huge. I mean, it's from Asian anglers to European anglers to, I mean, it's really awesome. I mean, it's something that FLW was probably the first ones to ever do with the global angling society, and they've brought a lot of anglers over as well. But I think it's really like just going out and about in the community, and people actually saying, "Hey, you're the Basscast guy." Now, I wish they knew my name, but it is what it is. But it's the Basscast guy is what it is, and we talk for a little bit and walk on, and that's probably one of the coolest moments that I have with just the people in my area. I've got a great Major League Fishing. When that was all purchased, I got to meet Joe and dang, I'll think about the young lady's name in a little bit. But we've really had a great rapport with Major League Fishing, probably because it's not as big as the Classic, but it's a family event kind of deal for us media wise, and it's about a dozen of us, and we really have a great time because I don't know. I wish Bassmaster would kind of control their media, but the more for them, the merrier. I mean, that's what it is. But so we're all just fighting over stuff, but it's fun. I mean, you get to meet a lot of the professional anglers, and I guess I don't know, Roy. I've been doing this so daggone long. I got numbers in my phone.
I can imagine. It's interesting for myself. Like when I would reach out to people I almost would call, like I call you and say like, "Hey, Brian, you don't know who I am," but then like I know who you are. I'm like, how the heck do you know who I am? This is crazy, you know. It's almost
Yeah.
like not like wow they know me, but it's like oh wait a minute, I'm making ripples further than I think, you know. So that's kind of a cool thing on my end is like, all right, who has seen me, who knows who I am versus just I don't think they really should, you know. Even though I've done 53 um, podcasts and I've done, you know, coming up on the 12th issue in the magazine, it still doesn't seem like anybody beyond my circle should know who I am.
Yeah, I mean, it, what's his name? Runs a podcast on Monday nights. The Low Budget Live. I
Hmm.
mean, that was probably one of the coolest moments when he kind of recognized me and we kind of talked and everything because you know him being a part of the podcast and you know part of it that we do here at Basscast and Basscast Radio. That was pretty cool as well. So I ain't gonna lie, guys. I've kind of taken a break from bass fishing for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
We do not get our break around here because the Basscast hosted, not hosted, but we had a classic. And then due to weather, I covered an event the whole every Friday, every Saturday or Sunday while I was off on my little mini vacation.
Wow.
So, and then we didn't do anything last weekend, and this weekend we're going to the Richmond Fishing Expo. So we're back on tour. We'll be there, and then we're going to Augusta County. Probably go to English Choice in Martinsville, Virginia, one of our sponsors. So, and after that, get maybe a week or two off, and then tournament seasons, and then we go to the Bassmaster Classic in Knox Vegas.
Wow. So this brings me to my next question for you, which I've always wondered: what keeps you motivated?
Oh wow, that's a great question. I don't know, you know, like probably the question like you had before is, you know, some of the accolades, you know,
Hmm.
that helps. I mean, when people say thank you for what you're doing, I really, really appreciate that. Um, I don't know. I kind of you guess when you probably know this as much as I do. When you start putting something together, you building a company or a brand, it's really just seeing it through.
Right.
And you know, even if you have a bad year, like I'll be 100% honest. Last year, I was just mentally burnt out. Um, After so much happening in the tournament fishing world and so much negativity across everything, kayak,
Hmm.
bass fishing, 5 anglers got DQ for lie detector 3, whatever it was, lie detector test issues. It really just became like, God, is it should I really stay in this? I mean, it really does. I mean, it's and you really do need that break, but you know, you kind of set a goal for yourself. And that's the cool thing about it is, you know, you set a goal, said, this is what we want to produce, this is what we want to do. Um,
Yeah.
Kind of cheaters. And then you know, this is what we want to do. And then you just go for it and
Right.
lay out a plan. We've laid out our plan for this year and what we really want to do. So I mean, you know, that's it's kind of like one of those things where you say, I want to do X, X, and X. And it doesn't matter what type of business. A lot of people, you know, I don't put them up on my. A lot of people say put up like in your shower, not in your shower, but in your bathroom. Put up, you know, sticky notes saying, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do today. This is what I'm gonna get done. This is what I'm gonna get done this year." And that kind of drives me. And like, I think at the end of the day, it's really just wanting to see the whole thing through. I mean, I tell Danielle's like, man, I should just like not really quit, maybe move on, sell it.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's like, you're not going to do that. You've been doing it since 2008. What else do you know how to do?
Yeah, I know that like some of the issues that I put together, I mean, if people really knew how long it took me and how much I did all by myself, they wouldn't, I don't think they would ever do it.
I've I've had 2 people try to do this. I had some kids from Liberty I knew
Hmm.
of. They're gone. And I had another gentleman and he's gone. So, you know, you kind of talk about sometimes it's just outlasting the other person.
Right.
You ain't always got to be great. You just got to outlast the other person.
Right.
And we did that and it paid off. I mean, like I said, I am well pretty daggone known and you know, I go to events and have a great time and get to see everybody and you know, it's I wish they would maybe hit my GoFundMe a little bit more, Patreon every now and again. But
But they
other
all
than that,
tell
I
you,
mean,
I love what you're doing for the industry. Without you, I don't know what we do. You're like, can I have a dollar? No, get out of here. Can I have
yeah,
a dollar, sir?
can you put the quarter in my cup, sir? Like
Wow.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, one of my
Yes.
favorite movies. Like, can I have a quarter, sir? But yeah, I mean, other than that, it I don't know. I don't. It's all paid for. We're blessed, and that's the main thing. And I'll be honest, I'm not Roy. Not really you
Mhm.
wired to sit down. I don't like watching TV. I do watch a program every now and again with Danielle. Other than that, I rather just work.
Dancing with the Stars. I get it.
I grew up. My grandmother worked 365. She took Christmas off. That's what I grew up with, and that's
Yeah.
what I saw. And you always say you're a product of your environment, and here we are today. And some people hate it, and some people like it, and you got to, it's not really work for me. I kind of have it fun. It's like a goal. Let's see how many views this can get. Let's see if we
Mhm.
did the right thing. Let's see if we made put out the right product. Let's see if the podcast show was good. Let's see how many hate emails we get. I mean, you gonna get it all. It's called
Right.
being in the limelight or being a part of media or the community. So I mean, but it's y- make it a game, have fun with it, and
Don't
don't
take it too
give up.
seriously.
Yeah, and don't
Yeah.
give up.
Don't give up. So, what makes Basscast Radio different? What sets you apart?
I think I will tell you, it's our co-host. It really is. Thomas, Aaron's, Bass Geek, and I. I kind of consider myself like, you know, NASCAR. NASCAR has the one guy kind of keeps everybody in line. And
Hmm.
then you have like Dale Jarrett up there talking, and you have I don't know, I'm just Dale Earnhardt Jr. talking, and you know, I'm kind of the guy that kind of keeps everybody in line, asks the questions, kind of brings up the topics, and kind of does all that. But having Thomas and Baskeek be a part of it is probably the coolest thing because Baskeek is in the YouTube part of the fishing industry,
Hmm.
and he handles a lot of the tips and a lot of the techniques. Where me and Thomas are kind of Thomas is in the he does a lot with game and fish. He's on a couple different boards up there. If you guys have not listened to Fishing the DMV, you need to. He's on a couple of the boards up there. He's in Northern Virginia. Bass Geek is right on the tip uh, of he's like right there that Virginia line going into what is it, West Virginia? No, gosh, I don't know why I can't even know. But he's online and I'm in the middle. So we all have different parts. He can talk about the lakes down there. I can talk about the lakes up here, Smith Mountain Lake, Bugs Island, I go to all the time, Smith Mountain Lake, I go to all the time. And then Thomas can talk about the river, the Potomac. So we bring a
Nice.
lot to the table, and that's really cool about it. And we talk about what's going on in tournament bass fishing and what's going on with the environment and what's going yeah, and what's going on with Bass Geek and oh wow, how do we three get together? Here I met Geek, and I'll tell you this is really cool, and I'll tell you guys this right now, and I don't care what you are, who you are, what you're doing. If you want to be a part of this industry, if there's a free expo in your neighborhood, if you're not there, you do not want to be a part of this industry. I met Geek at an expo. Um, I believe in the Gary Vaynerchuk, jab, 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 punch. We just talked and we just talked and became friends. And then I asked him, I said, dude, would you like to branch out and we could promote this together? And we did. And then I saw Thomas's podcast and we reached out to Thomas and said, hey, Thomas, would you like to be a part of Basscast Radio? And he said, yes. I mean, I didn't meet Thomas till last year. I mean, face to face. I
Hmm.
mean, we met at an expo again. So, I mean, expos is the networking hub. You don't go in there and ask. Don't ask. Go in there and tell the, you go in there and say, buy a lure, take it home, record a video, and just keep doing that. And they'll
Yes.
say, this dude likes to work. This dude likes to put out content. This dude's building up followers. Then the lures come. And if you go in there and start jabbing right off the bat, they're going to throw you out. Because there's plenty of people jabbing.
Yes. A lot of like, oh, I'm on the way up. Send me some product and I'll show you.
You know what I did, guys, to get on the way up on this thing? I would sit here on the phone while, if I was watching TV, follow people on Instagram, unfollow, like, make comments, share. And I did that for probably a couple years to now, where it just kind of grows naturally. But to get our like 80,000 followers, that's what you have to do. So I mean, this has not been easy. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I mean, that's why a lot of people dropped out. I mean, unless you're famous and got a beautiful face and you know the rest. I mean,
Didn't work for me.
yeah. Unless you're famous already and got a name like Kevin Van Dam or something like that, and it's not easy.
Right.
But that's how we all met. Is like you said, expos.
So how do you keep the
And
content
just
fresh?
cold calling.
How do you keep the content fresh? Because I know there's like like I said, there's a lot of negativity in the industry, and you could just like do podcast after podcast of blah. But so for myself, what I like to do, honestly, I love fishing. I love kayak fishing, but I like to have people on that I want to know about where they came from, what they've done, who they were, because I can't BS anybody. If we sit down and start talking about techniques and all the stuff, I'm not the technique guy, and people are going to pick up on that
neither am
right
I.
away. But I do want to know, like, where did Brian come from? What did he do? How did he get where he is? So for you, how do you keep it fresh? What is your go-to for that?
So we try to mix it up. We try to put a wrap up guest on our show as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna say that. That's a crazy. I kind of, like I said, I come up with some questions, but I everybody knows, honestly, now there's magazines out there that tell you about the Roy's magazine. I mean, there's an example. It tell you the techniques. He interviews people that, tell you what to do and, shows you what to do. And, we got Wired to Fish, great website that tells you, yeah, you're right. It is a cutthroat business, but you got, you got great websites like that. So I kind of dive into what got you, like you were saying, what got you to this point on this tournament?
Mm-hmm.
What kept you from spinning out? What made you make a decision during this event? You could have zigged, but you zagged. And I kind of dive into the mental aspect of the event more than just, I had a bank and I just fished it the whole time. Well, how'd you know every day is going to restock? How did you know, how'd you know? Because we all know, and that's why Major League Fishing last year, and I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but day one wasn't televised. They didn't want all the traffic on it. They didn't want everybody to know where they were unless you told your buddy where you were. And
Right.
after that, your area is going to usually, if you're hammering, they're going to get beat up. So I mean, and that's kayak world or bass fishing world. So it's kind of more the mental side of tournament bass fishing, because it really is. You got 8 hours. We got big screens now to look at. We got beautiful photos.
Mm-hmm.
The days of beating the bank are done. It's I zoom, look at my FFS. I don't see anything. I'm going to the next pack. I'm going to the next corner, next rock, lay down, tree, point. So I mean, it's more into it. It's probably, if you ask me, it's more mental now in bass fishing.
Yeah.
Than it almost is technique, because it's like I hope you know the technique for you to throw 50,000 or 5,000 or $10,000 on a table and slide
Right.
across that poker table and say, I'm ready to go fish a tournament.
That's a big investment for Poke and Hope.
It is.
So
I really do think, it is more mental now than anything. Because you could sit there and stare at the screen and say, I wish.
yeah. Yeah, I've stared at
And
the
your 8
screen.
hours is gone.
It took me forever to figure out how to use the screen, so I decided not to use it. I went back to how I like to fish, just reading the area and casting.
There you go.
But what interview are you most proud of? Do you have
Oh
one that you
gosh.
can?
All right, so there's probably two guys Danielle will tell you, I'm a fanboy of. Brandon Polinick, I love B.
Mhm.
Huge fan. I'm a huge fan of his the guy who does all his recording as well. He does an amazing job with his videos. And probably another one is Greg Hackney. Huge Greg Hackney fan. Probably one of the best teachers out there, if you ask me. I watch everything that Greg Hackney puts out. I love the dude. He's a great, great guy. And we were able to get both of them on the show. So that was probably two of the top guys that I spoke to professionally.
Mhm.
Um, man, we've done a lot of shows. Roy should ask
I
that
know.
question early. Holy cow!
It's
But I mean,
difficult.
it is. But there's been a lot of great guests, and yep. But there's been a lot of great guests on the show, a lot of great conversations, and like I said, that's one of the coolest things about it. So, and it was a live and learn. I mean, I started out doing like a hour and a half show, and I cut it down now to 45 minutes to an hour, and it's live and learn on that part as well too. But probably my Gray Hackney show was probably the coolest, just because I don't know, I just really did like the dude. I think he's awesome.
Was there one interview that like surprised you, like that just either did better than you thought it would, or uh, you found out there was maybe something you guys had in common? Because sometimes. So the reason I started the podcast was I was actually chatting with Christine Fisher as she was driving, and she and I shared a moment where she had experienced something and I had as well, and I was like, "This needs to be a podcast," and that's why I started the podcast.
Right.
So, is there something during one of yours that you have just like were wowed by?
Um. So the podcast has come about. It's actually been kickstarted like twice, restarted twice, rebooted twice. I created the podcast really to keep a connection with anglers.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a networking tool for me. I like having that um networking tool where I mean, you know, there's only two big events a year. Now you can go to any other, there's a lot of tournaments local in Carolina this year and South Carolina you guys can go to. Last year was legit. I preached it big time. If you guys, if you didn't go to an event last year, um Stephen Kidd.
Yeah.
But if you didn't go to a bass event last year or FLW event last year, Major League Fishing event last year, I'm sorry, you missed out because last year was legit for us right here in Virginia. I mean, I think the furthest event was like and that was it was 3 hours, and that was even for a NPFL event. But I created the show for a network, a way to kind of be able to have anglers we could reach out to, we could talk, we could have a conversation, write stories, write content, have
Mm-hmm.
people we can interview. And so it was really a networking type of an event that's now become huge. I mean, it really has. And, now with the multiple opinions and multiple different views, it's, sometimes I upset people and sometimes they come out great. I don't like holding back. I don't know. They don't hold back on me, and I don't mind letting it go on them a little bit because it really has become last year was just like I said, just a mentally exhausting year. And if I pissed you off, I apologize. If I made you mad, I'm sorry. But everybody voiced their opinion last year, and I'm hoping this year we can just like skate through. I mean, I hope we can have
Yeah.
just a growing, fantastic 2026.
So how do you how do you avoid burnout? Like, what is your? I know that it's an ongoing thing, but what's your
Wow.
plan for that?
Wow. I don't know. Probably just having, like I said, the goals, setting a goal and wanting to keep it.
Hmm.
And saying, even if you don't feel good, you're going to host a podcast.
Yeah.
And, or, even if you don't feel good, you're going to go cover that tournament. That's probably the main thing, but I don't know. You have to ask somebody that question. How, because I'll tell you guys this, we get the summer off kind of, not really, but I don't, because I'll leave from here and drive 3 hours to the Potomac or 3 hours or whatever, how many hours it is to James River. And I'll cover the river events for the Major League Fishing, the BFLs. So I really don't get any time off until that last event in December. So if you guys didn't see, I'll go this direction real quick, but the Basscast has decided in 2026 we're only hosting 2 events. We're doing a fall and a spring and a fall event. We're not doing 7 events, 6 events in the past. We did up our entry fee because we want to make it a big event. So I hope everybody comes out. You can find all the information now on the website. April 25th, by the way, this is the first one. But yeah, 100% Tyler. But yeah, we decided this year to cover more events, go to bigger events.
Hmm.
We watched the numbers in 2025. The locals weren't fishing the events like they were in the past. I remember when I first started, Bass Nation of Virginia had 200 boats. Um, Angler's Choice had 200 boats. The rest of everybody had 50 to 100 boats. And now these things are cut in half. So, do you see the Hobie Boss event coming back now that Bass Pro took over the hobby? I so
I would hope
you
so.
want to start? Okay, you say you hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I have a feeling since Bass Pro has bought it, we all know that Bass Pro has his hands in Major League Fishing.
Hmm.
Major League Fishing does not have a kayak series yet. They've been asked about having a kayak series. Bassmaster has their series, and then they have the college series that they introduced last year. I have a feeling that this is gonna, if it ain't this year, which it probably ain't gonna be this year, if it's not next year, it's gonna be under Major League Fishing.
That
Because
makes
he's
sense.
got the network, he's paying the bills, he's writing a check to them already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be you scratch me, I scratch you. So I have a feeling it won't be. I don't know if it'll be Hobie, be called Hobie. It'll probably be called the Major League Fishing Kayak Series presented by Bass Pro Shops or something of that nature. I have a feeling that's what it's going to be called because they own Hobie now. But yeah, that is sad to see go. I really, really, I really loved watching that Hobie World Tour they did every year. And I know that was like something they did overseas, and you got to see it on
Hmm.
TV, and that was really cool, and all these different anglers, and I just thought that was. And that was what I saw because that had been around long before Chad Hoover came around
Yeah.
and a lot of other series. And then all that's oops.
Oh, you went dead. You cut it off. There you go.
So sorry. So yeah, so the Hobie World Championship is what you kind of saw first. And then, Chad Hoover came around, then Bassmaster. And so, they kind of paved the way for everybody else. And to kind of see them go the wayside kind of sucks.
Right.
But
Hopefully
they were
they're
a
going
niche
to be a
market.
kickback.
They
Yes.
were a niche market that got kind of gobbled up, and it got gobbled up by the low enders. And now everybody's got a pedal drive, and it's $1,000 compared to $5,000. And I can take the other $3,000 was spending on a Hobie, and I can buy electronics.
Get a forward-facing sonar.
FFS baby.
Oh man.
But it's true though. They kind of got gobbled up. The patent ran out probably on their pedal drive. So a lot of people started doing. I mean, it went from low end kayaks to high end kayaks. You can get a pedal drive in it, except for Walmart. I mean, you
Right.
know, all the rest of them you can get pedal drive.
So let me ask you, would you say that social media has helped or hurt fishing?
Probably like everything else, then killed it.
Yeah.
You know, opinions are. Mama used to say opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
The
I
keyboard
don't know.
warriors.
I don't know if it's it's one of the things 50-50 on that. It's helped get the word out about tournaments. It's helped get the word out about what we do, you and I, on the business side of it.
Hmm.
But it has become a pedestal for some who know and some who don't know. And I think, just like the cheating scandal with the weights and the fish,
Yes.
it didn't matter. I got so much. That was like, God, it was awful. When I saw that morning, it got sent to me. I woke up because I get a lot of stuff sent. Woke up, that was sent on there, and I said, dude, this is no way. This is no freaking way. And it didn't matter. I had people coming up to me, don't even fish. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
if they did, they took your kid like to a bank and they sat on it and drank beer while they fished or something. It just affected so many people.
Right.
How this went out across social media so freaking fast. And, some of the other little things that have happened last year. I mean, how it went so freaking viral so fast that it's like, oh, everybody cheats in fishing.
Right. I think it gave opinions to people that didn't have the dog in the fight, if you will. Like just
100%.
someone who wanted to be upset found an avenue to be angry.
Yeah, kind of like what we got here. Yeah, I mean, it really did. It really did. Kind of hurt it kind of dinged our sport a little bit. And then after last year, it dinged our sport again on the professional side of it. So I'm really hoping, like I said, I'm hoping 2026 is like better. But we've already had a major league, our first FLW event where we had, someone self-reported.
Right.
They did something they weren't supposed to do. Very first tournament of the year, people. We haven't even got the season started hardly, and we got our first self-report. I'm glad they did, which is great. But gosh, people, guys, please read your rules.
Yeah. Even
You
for
are putting up thousands. You're putting up. It's we're in a small niche. It's not very big. Even Bassmaster has 1 million followers. There's football players out there that got 1 million followers. I mean, there's stadiums out there got more followers than Bassmaster, just the stadium.
yeah.
And your um your integrity is on the line. 110%. No matter what, take the time, read the rules, read them from front to back. I know, you know, Roy and I had this thing, and we talked about it a couple years ago when Hobie and Chad and Bassmaster all sat down, and we're hoping they're gonna get life figured out, and they did some of it, and some of it they didn't. But read your rules for every tournament you fish. Don't,
Right.
because once you get banned, it spreads and you're done.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gun shy for tournaments with because you want to go fishing for like myself. If I were going to go get into fishing a tournament where I'm going to be polygraphed or whatever, I think that for myself, reading that level of rules that you need to be almost an attorney to comprehend what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like it's like why even fish? Why do a tournament when I've got to have a paralegal with me? Like we're fishing. Yes, there's money on the line. Don't cheat, but make them simple so people know. And I mean, they may be simple, but I hear a lot of people like, I didn't know I was breaking the rules, and I was at a certain place and I heard someone say something. I'm like, what in the world, man? Either their explanation of what happened is inaccurate, making it seem to me like it's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of scandal,
Yeah.
or either way, it just makes you kind of not want to jump into that pool. So,
And you know, like you were saying though, Roy, I kind of wonder if that's the reason why numbers were down last year. You know, everybody kind of got burnt out mentally, physically, emotionally. Not necessarily the rule part,
yeah.
but just because of all the issues that are taking place.
Mm-hmm.
We found 2 cages and 1 net on Smith Mountain Lake last year.
Wow.
Yep. So, I mean, luckily no fish were in any of them.
For the good and the
Yeah.
bad.
Yep. It does 110%. But yeah, so I mean, you know, just read the rules, take the time. I mean, most guys fish 1 tournament trail, 2 tournament trails. That's all their schedule allows to do. But I mean, the rules come out. Schedules are out now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's schedule is out now. And just go to their place, take it to work. We got mobile phones now. We got tablets. It ain't like you got to print it out to read it or read it on your computer. I mean, you know, there's many different ways to sit down and read those rules. I mean, but read the rules. That's all you got to do. It's all I tell people. It's a simple thing to do. I mean, if you really need it bad enough, take your little piece of paper and sit down and write out like put 5 bullet points. These are the main rules I need to understand for English choice. These are the main rules I need to understand for Bass Nation of Virginia. Put them in your boat and just say, look at it before the tournament. Hey, no 5 fish under 14. This is off limits. This I can't do. That I can't do. Boom, it's in my head. I know what I got to do. And you know, that's one thing I really that's one thing I really did like about the kayak series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was really cool. You know, we're not doing the kayak series thing anymore, but that was one cool thing that I really did like about the kayak series was the captain's meeting.
Yes.
Danielle would go over all the rules. You had to when we recorded the video, we uploaded to YouTube. You went underneath the video, said, "Yes, I watched the captain's meeting and I understand the rules." And that was you signing off saying, "Hey, you know what's off limits, on limits, etc." I know Bass Nation of Virginia, they still have a meeting. I don't know if it's online or in person, but they still have a meeting where they go over the rules for each event or any highlight rules, I guess you say.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one cool thing I really did like about on top of the community. I really like the community, but
Yeah.
that's one thing I really did like about the kayak series is these are the rules, boys and girls. They're explained to you that night. Each body of water is different. Here's what you got to do. And if you break them, I'm sorry, you suck, you cheat. Or you not cheat, but you just broke a rule and I'm sorry. You either got to, subtract inches or DQ you. So that was one
Right.
really cool thing about the kayak series part.
So let me ask you this. I know that in the kayak community, I feel like we're a really tight community. Do you feel that the boating community is the same way? Do you see them as being as tight knit as
No.
the no?
Mm-mm. The boat side of it, I ain't gonna say there's not. Everybody has cliques, and in the kayak side, we fish as a group or try to fish, with your
Mm-hmm.
partner. Because just in case something happens, I think it's great. I won't go to the river unless I'm got somebody with me. But if you go to a kayak tournament, everybody's standing around waiting to hear everything.
Yeah.
If you go to a bass boat tournament, there's a group here, and a group here. Maybe another group over here. So there's cliques. It's kind of like the high school cliques. It's just now we have $60,000 to $100,000 bass boats and rods and reels and that are very, very expensive and all that great stuff. So there's not that one click. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's lots of clicks. And I mean, that's one thing. And that's another thing that really was great about the kayak part of it. I mean, yes, you'd have a few apples, but for the most part, everybody just went out there, just want to have a great time. It's $30, maybe 50 or 100 at the most for the bigger kayak tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
But heck, we all camped together. Shoot, all went out to eat together. I mean, I think one kayak championship we had, I ended up camping on in the Forerunner. I slept in the back of that at 40 degrees at night. So I mean, we all pitched a tent in a field and had a great time, and I do miss that kind of part of it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's I believe I had asked this to Chancey Cotton about the difference between the two, the boating and the kayaking. Well, he had the same answer you do. Like it's not as smooth or fun as with the kayaks as it is with the boats. The boats are not as fun, I should say.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm not saying they're not as fun or whatever, but you just don't have that. You don't have that kind of
yeah,
bond, I guess you kind of say, that you had in the kayak side of it.
right.
Win, lose, or draw, beside a bad apple or two, win, lose, or draw, it was all like a big community.
Yeah.
And so that was the best thing about it, if you ask me. I mean, like I said, I really did. Just the bad apples were just bad.
So
And
let
that
me
was
ask you this. So you're a new boat guy coming in. You pull into the ramp for your first tournament and you look, and there's all these little bubbles of clicks. I feel that would be off-putting to me because I wouldn't know which one I would fit in, or who's accepting what they're there for. Do you see a path to making it more inclusive to people? Because I would think that the more numbers you have, the higher the payouts you have, or the more competition. Like, how is it viewed?
I'll be honest, that's kind of crazy. I mean, yep, that's he just said it right there. It's 110% what that gentleman just said.
Mhm.
Um, I was very blessed. Not gonna brag or nothing. Very blessed when I started the bass part of the series that I had some of the best anglers in Virginia fish. I mean, I really did have, like, I had a gentleman who went to 2 Bassmaster Classic fish with us, and people wouldn't fish with me because I brought in the best. And they didn't want to donate, what they call it. I ain't donating to Chad. I ain't donating to this person. I ain't donating to that person. This person does better in the spring. This person does better in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I I think I will say this: clubs end up having the best community. You're gonna have Augusta County Bass, which I'll be at their expo. I want to say that's in February, and um, Bass Nation of Virginia
Mm-hmm.
have probably the to really get that ego thing going. You need to make it a club, and and bucktail fishing. And you really need to make that the clubs are where it's really at. But the clubs are dying. But I think we just had another club fold last year, so that club's not around anymore. But a club is where it really, really is. It's a lot to run a club. You got to have a president, vice president, treasurer. You got to take dues. But they can be fun in the long run because you have that community thing. But then the ego steps in, like someone said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the ego steps in and someone else goes over here and starts another club.
Yeah.
They start another, then it breaks off, and then there's another club. And I don't
They
you
just started
don't
their own
have what you
clicks.
had. Right. You don't have what you had in the kayak series. You really don't. I don't know how to really bring it together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing with the those types of events. Because I was talking to there's a local club, the Tidewater Kayak Anglers Association, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, when people come in, is there someone like a liaison to like a new member person to go up and say, hi, this is what we do, just like to break that ice. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I really loved about the photography world was when I went to the Virginia Professional Photographers Association meeting. They
Mm-hmm.
knew that I was a new person. They came up to me and they introduced me to people and they walked me around. It was very welcoming. So that
Yeah,
I
there's not
think
that networking that you're
no.
gonna see. In the bass side of it, that's usually left on the tournament director side of it.
Hmm.
They're gonna, say great job, but they're not gonna hang out with, there's gonna be the clicks.
Yeah.
Hey, walk over, shake a guy's hand, congratulations on getting a win. Sometimes they'll merge together. You guys know I watch everything, okay, people? Um, but for the most part, at the end of the day, have a great day. I only had 15 pounds out the door. Yeah. Luckily, Augusta County's been pretty good. It's had its ins and outs, but they've done a great job. There was a club here ran for shoot, good God, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was really good, but I mean, hell, I've been a tournament director longer than most tournament directors want to say. And Chris Lucas for English Choice, oh my gosh, like a decade. I mean, you can only take so much of the ego part and you burn out and 2 or 3 years later and you're ready to move on. And so, I mean, I like doing it. I grew up in a bar and networked, and you got to meet people and you got to hang out with people and you got to learn about people. And my grandmother ran a bar, and that's where I kind of got this whole thing of talking to people and hanging out with
Right.
people and welcome new customers in the bar.
Yeah.
Come on in. I want you to spend your money and I want you to buy our beer and eat our food and all this great stuff. So like I said, I've taken each different part from the years I've learned, and here we are now. And I walk up to people, shake everybody's hand, thank you for fishing with us, appreciate you guys, and whatever they do after that's what they do. So
Yeah. Chasing the money.
yeah, a club has always kind of been either for people who don't want to invest a lot, which is cool. You want a little $50 tournament, you might break even for the day, might pay for a tank of gas, or it's been entry level. It's way for people to get in, like you were saying. And that's why I kind of said the club way is kind of the way to go. If you're new and you want to get in, you want to network, you want to meet some people, that's really the kind of way to do it. I mean, I've told people in the past, if you're looking for a partner, say you're looking for a partner, tag the Basscast in it, tag our social media. I'll reshare it. I'll see it. I'm looking for a fishing partner for 2025. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. And,
so
like, go ahead.
so let me ask you this. Uh, what's next for you and how can people support you?
Phew. Um, like I said earlier, I decision this year to start covering larger events. I think I've pretty much exhausted what I can do here in Virginia. If you don't
Mhm.
know about us, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I've been doing this since '09. I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars in advertising. So you either gonna like me or not like us. It is what it is. We're looking to travel, hit some Bassmaster Opens, more Bassmaster Elite events. I was looking at doing Big Bass Tour, but the Big Bass Tour is going to be traveling a lot further than I want to go this year. So we're just going to be covering more events this year. We're going to be seeing more lakes than we've seen in the past. I'm still going to try
Mm.
to cover our main bread and butter here, but I think for us to really grow to that next level, like I was talking about that commitment going to the Bassmaster Classic, it's going to
Right.
be that commitment like we did last year when we drove down and hung out 3 days of major league fishing at one of their events, and we sucked it up 95-degree heat, but I had a great time. So it's gonna be more than that. And sleeping in my rooftop tent that's on top of the Forerunner out there. If you see the rooftop tent and a white Forerunner, that's us. And we're follow us. We're usually heading to a lake, but if you really, supporting us, we have a Patreon. It's $5.95 a month. We'd love to have you. Oh, that's cool. Um, we'd love to have you become a member of Patreon. If you don't want to become a member of Patreon, hit the share button. That
Yes.
that one button, guys, is free. Hit the like button. Make a comment. These help the algorithm tremendously. It helps get it out there to other anglers. And
Yes.
make comment. Great story. Great post. Great story, Bruce. Thanks for covering our event. Thanks for showing up. That's how the social media thing works. And just like everybody does your birthday wishes that you used to do back in the day when you had to copy and paste, now they tell you what to say.
Mm-hmm.
Just copy and paste it and put it on 4 or 5 comments.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the main way, because I am blessed. I mean, we are pretty well we have our fingers in a lot of different money options that come to us. Nothing huge by any means, but it does help pay the bills. So the Patreon, I'm really looking to growing in 2026. And if you become a Patreon member, by the way, guys, even if you don't listen to Basscast Radio, which I hope you do, we drop every episode. We drop 3 episodes a week. Excuse me. You get the main show on Sundays, and you get it commercial free. And the rest of the money, just goes to help put gas in the vehicle and run up and down the road, and tires and wear and tear and all that good stuff. Oil changes, just basic stuff. Basic life, Roy.
Everyday stuff. Yeah.
Everyday stuff. I think about every third oil change, I let the Basscast pay for it. Every other year, I let the Basscast pay for my tires. I'll pay for one set and let the Basscast pay for the next set. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
I live 10 minutes from work. I travel 1.5 to 3 hours to a lake.
Right. Yeah.
So if I
Yes.
wasn't doing this, I'd be home. When I ain't gonna say that I travel everywhere. We just travel
Yeah.
all the time.
I think Doswell is like 2.5, close to 3 hours from me to go to the Richmond show. So if I went to that, I mean, it's a commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 hours from us. So it was funny. Someone asked me, well, yeah, in our group we were in, and we were talking about that yesterday, about going to the Tennessee show coming up. I said, no, I'm just going to the Classic because it's 5 hours. I'm not saying the Tennessee show ain't great, guys. Tennessee show is amazing. I love the Knox Vegas tennis fishing expo down there. And I got a lot of people from here going because I kept boosting it so much, and now couples and make weekends out of it, and one day at the show, and then the rest of the time hanging out. But yeah, I saw that 1 hour from the show. I rather have it on my. I'd rather be it on my end, to be honest. I'm an hour and a half from Smith, hour and a half from Bugs Island. I'm 2 hours from Lake Anna. 2 hours from the James River, 3 hours from the Potomac. I like where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
I really do. I like I said, 12 o'clock, I can be at a tournament watching a weigh in no time. So
Perfect. All right. Well,
But,
we've hit about the 1 hour mark. Is there anything you want to shout out and tell anybody before we hop off?
yeah, like I said, just follow us on social media. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's me. But follow us wherever you have social media. And if you don't have social media, bookmark thebasscast.com. If you enjoy podcasts like mine and Roy's, and Fishing the DMV, Thomas's, hit the subscribe button. Make comments, like I was saying earlier. The comments help tremendously. Holy cow. People understand those, just a couple letters. That's all a couple words. Hey, great. It's great that it sucked. I don't care. I mean,
Right.
I mean, why do you think Hollywood people do crazy crap?
Comment's a comment.
Comment. Yeah. So just give us a follow and follow the journey in 2026. And, you never, like people say, we never know where you're going to show up next. And as soon as the ball gets rolling, we're going to hit rolling. So,
Yes, sir. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate
yeah.
you taking the time out to come in and help me out. Again, like I said in the beginning, I wholeheartedly meant it. There have been times where I've had moments of self-doubt in what I'm doing, and my phone will just buzz and it'll be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" I'm like, "Brian knew." So I appreciate you for doing things that you don't know you are doing.
Wait. Yeah,
So,
we got to stick together. I mean, we really do. And that's, me and Gas Geek and all of us, I'm in two different groups. And then I
mhm,
kind of messaged a couple people outside the groups. So, I mean, we really do have to kind of stick together in this because you're going to lose a sponsor and you go like, crap, that's the end of the year. And then, next week you get two more sponsors or you find somebody you didn't know you had before. And,
the highs and
it's just,
lows.
it's
Yep.
it's a hot, it's a lot of high. It's just like tournaments. It's like freaking tournament bass fishing too. It's a high you think you're gonna win this tournament and you end up last, and it's a low where your practice sucks and you end up winning the daggone thing. So I mean, it's
You hook
you
the
hear the
big fish
anglers,
and it gets off at the boat. Like,
you hear some of the anglers up on stage want to thank my wife, my family, all this stuff because it is some highs and some lows, and it's the same way.
mhm,
It's because we are a niche, but it's the same way here as well. And we'll get through it.
that's my dad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's on here. He and my grandfather are the reason I'm able to talk to people because they could talk to a tree. I mean, if they thought it would listen, they would get him.
Yeah, my
We've
dad
had
was a talker. Holy cow, he talked to anybody. He would sit there at the store and be like, next thing you know, there's three people sitting beside him on a darn park bench at Walmart, and they're just talking about whatever back in the day.
yeah, I remember coming to Virginia Beach with my grandfather and my father, and this gentleman had a sign said, "We'll work for food." And he said, "Are you hungry?" He said, "Yeah." He's like, "Come on." And we were all sitting at the restaurant, and all of us and the homeless guy next to us just having dinner, talking. I was like, I can't. All right, this
That's
is a
cool. It's
thing.
cool you being down in Virginia Beach because that's where I kind of cut my teeth a little bit. I grew up deep sea fishing, big time, like big
Hmm.
freaking time. And my grandfather's brother lived in Virginia Beach,
Mm.
and so we would. I never went fishing. My grandfather, he died. He's an alcoholic and he passed away before that. But they would drive Virginia Beach, pick him up, go deep sea fishing all day long, and we kind of just, besides the alcohol, we followed in the footsteps.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you again. I'm going to go ahead and
yeah,
put you
thank
in the
you.
back. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and I'll come back to say goodbye to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate
Oh, what's that?
you guys.
Bye, guys. All right, everyone. That was episode 53 with Brian Carter from thebasscast.com. I appreciate all of you coming in and hanging out. We're on episode 53. Brian really stepped in to help me tonight because someone else hopped out on me. And as usual, he had my back. So he's very good people, and I appreciate him for that. This episode is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. Go to snakerivermanufacturing.us and check out all of the beautiful kayak trailers that Steve and the crew are putting together. They're, in my opinion, some of the best trailers that have ever been made. Just go give them a look and judge for yourself. So, also, this episode is brought to you by VikingKayakSUSA.com. They have some great paddlecraft. They've got a new shipment in. She's making her East Coast tour. If you see Jen out and about, tell her I said hi. So, also, if you go to kayakcoffee.com and use CAFE20 code, you get 20% off your order. And they have some beautiful coffee, which I love to showcase, but I think it fell halfway through the show. So I apologize for that. Again, thank you all for joining me. And this has been episode 53, and I can't wait to see you next week.